Hey guys, it is February 27th of 2018, and I just want to kind of touch bases with you guys. Um, on my last video, when I was talking about changes, I said my hair was thinning. That's incorrect. I meant it's still thin, but it stopped thinning. And we found with me that the allergy pill Melaleucas, I think it's called, uh, yeah, I think that's what it's called. My hair was falling out like crazy. So Tony was losing a lot of hair, but she's got real thick hair, and she thought that that was just part of it. She was on the pill too. So we both stopped it and both have stopped losing the hair. So, part of the thinning of hair could be age. I'm 4 years away from 60. I can't believe it. Uh, I started this journey with my first shot being on my 50th birthday, and time has just gone by. But real quick, my ears are still growing, I think. You see, they're pretty good size now. Uh, my muscles are, I get stronger and stronger. I mean, I've talked about how I do projects and how I'm just amazed at how I can move things around. A couple weeks back, I spent all day at my mom's cleaning her garage and rearranging it. Now, her garage is almost the size of a 3-car garage. And Mel had every tool you could think of and had some that wasn't even opened yet. I mean, anyway, and they had the big white cabinets that, are not built into the garage, but the big, huge ones with a bench and everything. And then there was a couple other benches. And he wasn't a very cleanly person, so it was just all thrown all around. So I was moving. We put everything, taking everything out of the benches and stuff, the cabinets, and put it in the middle of the floor. And she wanted it a certain way, and so I was moving cabinets and I moved her big refrigerator, cleaned that out for her. He kept his wine and protein shakes in there, and there was wine spilt all over. It was terrible. Anyway, but I was just moving stuff around and putting things on the dolly and moving it, and after you sit down after you're really tired and you sit and process and look at everything, and I thought, my gosh, yeah, I didn't need help with any. My mom couldn't even help me because, of her shoulders, but I didn't need it. And it was pretty cool to be able to handle stuff on your own. I also talked about maturing into my male body now. There's always going to be something that happens that makes you remember you weren't born male, if you can understand what I'm saying. How I look at my life, I'm pretty. I'm not black and white. I'm really learning the different shades of gray through this transition and just through the way our country is going. And I will always respect and appreciate the female body that I had, the person that had to go with that, because she got me here to 50. I mean, there was times I didn't think she would get me there. Uh, and I say she in that way because there is a transition emotionally. Now, I have said on all my videos that I'm still the same person. Now people get to see who I am. And that is true. But I also recognize that there is just a little bit of difference. What I did as female bodied and female hormones have changed, like multitasking. I've talked about, not as emotional. I can detach now a little bit better than I used to. Uh, Understand why males are detached to a certain point. The hunter-gatherer time, and I respect that female. Now, I truly believe, one of the sayings is that God makes no mistakes, and it is true. But it doesn't necessarily mean it means physical. He's not making the mistake there. We've already been created, but for me, God's whole concern and journey is with my soul and my spirit, and that will guide this body. And because of the soul and spirit and the love and the unconditional love that God has for all of us, uh, has given us opportunity to live in a human body and function and be able to feel how the soul feels. So when the soul is sad or has empathy, uh, we can feel that emotion, and we can express it. So there's a lot more into that, but that's basically how I feel. No, I wasn't born a mistake. My soul is the same. But there has been scientific proof that the wires get crossed in the gender identity. Now, that doesn't mean I can't answer why there's non-binary and all that stuff. I think that's the souls that come to a point where they're not black and white, and they're not necessarily gray. They're just fluent. They just are themselves. They're not masculine, they're not feminine, they're not labeled in those ways. They just exist. They're spiritual, they're unconditional. They look at other humans without putting them in a box, or has boundaries and stuff. And that's where that's honestly, I wish I could be that way. um, it's a beautiful thing to not have to put a label on something, to just be. But so how I look at my life being born female is just that. My wires got crossed because I knew from a very young age that I really didn't see that I wasn't a boy until I told in one of my videos. We came to California, and my cousin, who's 10 months younger than I am, we met him. We've seen him before, but that's how young I was to know that from that time on forward, I've had memories of him. I didn't have any memories prior to that of this family. So, when we went to the vineyards, and they had trees there too, and he had to go pee, I was shocked that and he said that's because he's a boy. And I said, well, I'm a boy. Well, no, you have to sit down and pee. So anyway, so I started developing and not understanding why I was so different, because on the inside I was just the same as him. I just thought the same way. I talked the same way. I played the same way. But there is definitely people view things and look at things all differently, and I think that's what makes us all special. It doesn't mean that I'm right or wrong, or anybody else is right or wrong. An expression is something felt within, but it's also nurtured by sometimes our upbringings, our culture, our ethnic groups, some of those things. And then as you get older and you experience more, you can tell people, the ones that I have had in my life that are open and have no boundaries, that they see things a little bit like a rainbow, uh, is because they've been educated, number one, and number two, They've gone out into life and experienced different things, gone to different places or traveled a little up and down just one state. It doesn't matter what it is. You've gotten out of your bubble and you've experienced different things. So it helps you bring to the table a different thought about, what you processed before, and makes that black and white or those boundaries start to diminish and opens your mind to more. For me, it was about dealing with the boy inside. It was about questioning why, and knowing that I wasn't wrong because I was different. I never felt wrong. I never felt like uh, as far as religion is concerned, I never felt like I was going to hell. Even when I became of age and started having relationships, that had been asked of me, and I said no. I said I can't tell you why things are written the way they are in the Bible, and at the time I didn't know. Uh, but I do know if I was to stand before God and He was to tell me I was wrong and I'm going to go to hell, my response would be to Him, I've always loved you with all of my heart, and I'd never felt wrong about it. So if I have to go to hell, I will. And that's the way it is for me. But I truly do not believe that. And I believe that way because I can feel it in here. I can feel that I am a worthy person, that I'm a good-hearted person, that whatever I've experienced in life isn't wrong. It's just different. And it brings to the table, it brings to my spirituality a whole new realm. So that's where I feel, I respect the female, but I also am sad for the female. Because as a female body person, I went through a lot of inward hurt. No one saw my pain. I was very a loner as a child. Although I played sports and was in the bands, I just, I'd rather spend time in my room listening to gospel music and singing and feeling God with all around me and within me. And so everyone can have their view, but for me, where I am today, I am so complete. I don't have those moments anymore where I sit and wish or wonder why, or, you know, question how to find comfort and peace and happiness. Um, I was always very optimistic. I've said that before, and I still am. No matter what adversary or challenges came my way, adversaries, sorry, uh, I still always felt positive. I always felt there's a reason for everything, and I don't understand it. But in the times that things have happened to me, and I haven't been able to understand why me, the why has been answered on down the road. I look back and I look where I was and I look how much I've grown, and I understand now. That relationship would have never worked out long term because I wasn't mature enough and understand life enough to get through those hard times. I would have battled through them like I was. I ended up with high blood pressure and stuff, but I would have battled through them because of the love you have. But in the end, I think these relationships in my life and living the way I've lived has brought me here twofold. And even me getting hurt on the job and coming to terms with this gender identity and understanding now there's a definition, there's a label, there's, all this whole bunch of information about it. And, but it's just, life is really good. And I'm very happy. I have my ups and downs as far as physical because of my disability. Uh, and I just gotta, I just understand that one day I can do something and the next day I probably can't. But that's what's going on with us right now. We're just continuing to clean our pathway and bringing in joy and positiveness towards us and or in our lives, Tony and I, and just thanking God every day. Our country's divided, and it's going to be divided for a while. I'm sorry. Rex? No. 7 months old. Little Terrier Dotson mix. But anyway, so those of you who pray, those of you who meditate, those of you who visualize, please keep our country in your sight, in your prayers. Our country is affecting other countries and causing the right religious conservatism to step in when other countries and our country has made so much progress in allowing people to live who they are, their authentic selves, and providing care for them, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So sometime in your day, if you just take a moment of silence for the United States, because Trump and his teams is really causing chaos in our country and dividing us, and we've had so much more violence, and the right wing white supremacists are coming out of the woodwork, and that's not what this country was. Hey, sorry, Rex. No. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. It's 16, 17 minutes now, and he's going to start in. But you guys take it one day at a time, and always make your journey as simple as possible. We'll talk to you later. Bye.